Guru Nation, how is it going? Welcome back to another episode of Random Musings from the Clinical Trials Guru. We're going to get into a career question from someone today who's texted me. Anybody can do this, by the way. It's 949 While we're at it, I'm going to plug in my Fitbit because I've been tracking my steps, and these Fitbits are amazing. I'm an Apple guy, like I have Apple everything. I don't have the Apple Watch. I had Apple Watch before, and I don't have Apple Watch because I didn't like the battery on it. On the Fitbit, the battery is amazing. I feel like the pedometer is more accurate too. Maybe that's a segue for like a wearables podcast. So we're not going to do that right now. What we're going to do is cover this person's career question. So this person texted me. Anybody can do this, by the way. 949-415-6256. Hey, Dan, I'm an RN. I've been an RN for 3 years. I have university experience in research. You guys know how I feel about that. IRB training was done years ago. So for anybody in industry-sponsored research, just that alone right there, IRB training doesn't mean anything in industry-sponsored research. We use central IRBs. There is no training that we do for IRBs. That's just the academic medical center and AMC activity, which outside of that particular AMC has no value. So that's the first thing. You guys know my whole thing about small is the new big, but let's continue. I really want to get into research. I'm so tired of getting certified for things before I have a real job. It ends up being the proverbial chicken before the egg. I keep getting you have no job experience in research. So what job titles do I apply to? A few HR people say I am qualified for research already. I just need an alternative route on how to break through. I contacted the university to volunteer. That has not worked. The university is not doing well because of the pandemic. My next attempt is to go to the medical science department and ask them. I also did graduate with honors, but does graduate with honors mean anything to anyone at this point? Unfortunately, the answer is no. That's great that you did, but that does not mean anything. So here's the problem that you face that so many others in your situation also face, and that is they don't have industry sponsored experience. They may have some university experience, and again, that university experience is unique to the university. It's not that translatable of a skill, especially if you were an RN. So you were not even a coordinator. You were just doing RN related things. The good news for you is that you are an RN. And CROs love to hire CRAs that are RN BSNs. I can't remember which one it was. Might have been Icon or Covance or maybe all of them. They had a program for research naive RN BSNs, just like you, to get into like junior CRA roles. We have had in my CRA Academy, so here's a shameless plug. I got to plug it because if I don't, who else will? But thank you, everybody who has been. I mean, honestly, word of mouth in all seriousness, we've been able to grow the CRA and CRC Academy strictly off of word of mouth. We haven't even done advertising yet, and now we're going to start doing advertising as well. So that's the next phase in our evolution. But 3 years as an RN, so you can apply as in-house CRA or junior CRA. I don't think you need to focus on titles. The specific question this person asked was, what job titles do I apply to? I don't think the job titles matter. I think what matters is that you target the right companies. And here's a huge hint for you. Universities are rarely the right target. You need to focus on, I have this new saying, everybody go follow me on Instagram. I post there a lot. Small is the new big. Smaller the site, the better. On the sponsor level, the smaller the biotech, the better. The smaller the CRO, the better. You're going to wear more hats. You're going to learn more things, which means you have more transferable skills in the future, which means you're giving yourself more options, which means you have more job functions as a skill set, as your repertoire. You won't get that at universities. And universities, by the time somebody approves you to intern, it's going to be right now, it's August 2021. By the time someone at an AMC approves you, they have to have committees come in and approve interns. It's going to be another year. You don't have time to waste. The industry is hot right now. You got to do it. One of the things I recommend, I know you say I'm tired of getting certified. Let me just dispel that myth for you right now. There is no certification in research that really matters to help you get in. That you can do things like SOCRA and ACRP certified after you have experience, and that might help you get a raise quicker than your colleagues who may not have one. That may help on your resume. I know for a fact it will, especially as a coordinator on your resume, but that does nothing for you to get you in. This is why products like MyCRA Academy, this is why there's a need for that. We actually, all of our RN students that join the CRA Academy got jobs and end up becoming CRAs, because CROs know RNs don't just grow on trees. These are people who have been educated on con meds, side effects, adverse events. They've been educated on clinical things that it's much harder to teach somebody clinical things than it is to teach them research fundamentals. So in MyCRA Academy, we teach you research fundamentals. It's a 3-month online course. But then we do remote monitoring, virtual monitoring on a breast cancer study at the moment. Who knows what it's going to be in the future? But if you're watching right now in 2021, it's a breast cancer study. You're actually doing real monitoring reports. You're virtually monitoring breast cancer patients, and you're doing everything a CRA is doing. You're just doing it virtually. And then when we open it back up for visitations for the interns, you can come visit in Southern California for a week as well. But you won't even need to, because you're doing it all virtually. So that's what you need. That's the job experience, because right now, like you're saying, you have no job experience. That's what you're missing. Now, let's say you don't want to do CRA Academy. I understand, finances maybe. We only charge $5,000. We're way less than any competitor, and we do 2 installments, so it's $2,500 twice. But let's say that's not the route you can go. Let's say that's not an option. And I tell everybody who wants to join the class, you can do it for free. It's just a lot of effort, a lot of rejection, a lot of salesmanship or saleswomanship, a lot of persuasion. You're going to have to start building these skill sets as well. You have a lot of RN skill sets. I'm sure you got a lot of clinical skill sets. You need to start building your influence and your persuasion skill set, because you're going to need to approach not universities, not academic medical centers. You're going to need to approach small clinics run by people like me, run by doctors, mom and pop physicians in various communities who would love to have you as a sub-investigator. Because you're an RN, you can do a lot of assessments. You can take a lot of the workload off of the PI at those sites. And now you're getting sub-investigator experience on your resume. Much easier to transfer to a CRA from a sub-I who's been a sub-I at a site. And remember, small is the new big. So you worked at a site. If you work at a small site, chances are at that small site, you did a lot more things than just be a sub-I, right? You probably dabbled in some coordinating stuff. You probably even dabbled in some quality assurance, quality control type of roles at the site, which is, guess what? Exactly what a CRA is supposed to do for a CRO or a sponsor. So that's the route you're going. Forget about certifications. They don't matter. They're not going to help you in. Forget about your graduating with honors. That's great, but really nobody cares about that. At the end of the day, what they do care about is your RN. That's really what they care about. And the fact that you get any kind of experience on your resume, any kind of clinical research experience. I don't care if you're a clinical research assistant, associate, project manager assistant, project manager associate, study startup specialist, not regulatory affairs because you wouldn't get that, regulatory specialist. Just go down the long tail of jobs. Don't look for specific job titles. Just type clinical research on Indeed, on LinkedIn, and start applying to all of them. Get to know all the recruiters on LinkedIn. You are an RN. Most of your competitors are not RNs. They don't have experience and they're not RNs. At least you don't have experience, but at least you have an RN. And you also have an MBA and a BSN. So I think you've got what it takes for sure. I know you do. You're just missing a few tweaks and you're digging in the wrong holes. You're trying this with the universities, and that's not the most efficient use of your time. You need to try it with the small sites in your city, wherever that is, or maybe the closest major metro area. Just Google search that city. So if it's Yuma, Arizona, just Google Yuma, Arizona clinical research, and you'll see Google results for different research clinics in your area. Go reach out to them. Find those people on LinkedIn. Stalk them. Find them on Instagram. Stalk them. Go in person to the office. Tell them who you are. Tell them you're an RN and you just want to volunteer. I mean, you're trying to volunteer at an academic medical center and they don't know what to do with you, right? They have no incentive either. But the small clinics do. They're like, wow, we can get an RN and she can just intern here and all she wants in return is some research experience and she can serve as a sub-I if she's actually good. That's where you want to go. You want to spend the majority of your activity doing that to get any kind of relevant industry-sponsored experience on your resume. IRB training, sites don't do this, IRB training. Sites work with central IRBs. IRBs may have specific little mini modules for the training, but usually they don't. That's just a local IRB thing. So that's what I would do if I were you. I thank you very much for reaching out. I know it's frustrating. I know you're not the only one going through this because I do get asked a variation of this kind of question all the time. And apparently I'm not doing enough videos or podcasts because people still ask. So small is the new big. Forget about prestige. Nobody cares. Nobody cares if it's Harvard or UC San Francisco. It actually works against you if you have experience at big institutions because those things, first of all, they're way more streamlined. So your role is very narrow at those places. And second of all, the transferable skills are not the same as industry-sponsored trials. So that's my advice. Hopefully it helps. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share with a friend. And I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.